Worse? Worse. Guess we'll just find out once we get going. Thank you.
Thank you.
Got the bag. Now I gotta make a left onto Hollister. You coming? Not yet. Right. Got some food. Now we're gonna go down to the Nard for the preseason tournament. Jesus. And yeah, sorry, bud. Sorry. Sometimes you cut people off. And do it on purpose, but I definitely was in the wrong. Okay. Guapo. French fries might not be good for you in any caloric way, but they hit so good. Potatoes that you fried, and you dip them in some sugar sauce, ketchup. Forget about it. Some of the funnest things to do. Get food, drive around. And there's some hidden gems here in Old Town. I kid you not. I'm not a homeless person. I used to think Old Town was kind of ghetto, but I like it. It's a lot smaller than you think. I went for a jog away from the office, go in that direction. I think it's from the off-ramp over here to Fairview. I think it's less than a mile. I think it's like 0.7 or maybe 3/4 of a mile. Not that big. To think how many houses and apartments are all tucked in here. Pretty amazing. So got a match in like an hour, and this is a preseason tournament. It seems like we never have the full squad because it's summer, but missing our gun today, which hurts. Actually, now that I think about it, make it easier to focus on everything else and figure out what really needs some work. My initial thought after having 3 days of practice is that our passing needs to improve so we don't have to just throw it out to the gun and the second gun. Our back row defense is suspect or not. been hard to tell because the B side just hasn't been able to put too many balls that's challenging to the A side. So the team we're gonna play right now, oh my gosh. Come on everybody. Probably better than us with our gun. So I'd be surprised if we won. Just basing off the fact that we played this team 2 years ago, and they were really decent. The way they moved was made me think they were coached really well, and a lot of them play club. We don't have as many, but like, we'll see. I feel like we'll see. We're definitely very green in the middle. The one girl that does have some middle experience, which I didn't give too much thought to, actually has been impressing me. I just don't think she's I don't know what her upside is, or how much play time she can get, because she nets a lot. And that's always a challenge, is you don't get a good reading on how many errors you're making in practice with just the net and like doubles until you start playing and you have, you know, the referee there that's impartial and is calling them. But then I was also thinking, you know, if the one in question is not one of the, you know, considered starting middles, are they ever going to get that enough opportunity in a match to see whether they can do it or not? You know, hopefully the summer, hopefully this preseason tournament will allow us to do that. I don't know. What you know about spicy chicken? The challenge is not to spill anything on my clothes while driving and eating. I don't know if that's possible. It should be. I've been sleeping on Wendy's most of my life. Whenever I've gone, it's always been so good. Maybe it's because I never went into Old Town that often growing up. So, I don't know, but now I work out there, I want to say once every other week, if not once a week. The burgers are just bomb. Everything's good there. I think so. I think the fries are pretty decent. It's so fast too. But the burger it's meaty. It's a thick boy, and it's filling. I remember Brett and I used to go bodyboarding at campus or depressions, leave our stuff, and then walk to the U Center and get Wendy's, because they had a little Wendy's in there. Gosh, I wonder if they still do. It'd be so tight if they did. Honestly, I felt like I was going to the beach just so it would give me an excuse to go to Wendy's. I feel like I love food so much that I'll do other stuff. Like, part of my main motivation for running is so I can eat, have more, I can feel better about eating whatever I want. That's a terrible way to go through life. But now that I can't just burn it off in every day, or I just don't skate as much anymore, I can't just eat all rebellious like. I don't know. I've always said either eat good or exercise and eat what you want. But you can't not exercise and eat all the crap and then throw your hands up in the air when you don't get the results or you're not happy with what you want. I mean, in a perfect world, you would eat healthy and exercise and have discipline and be happy, but I have a difficulty doing both for a prolonged amount of time. Eating healthy and exercising. I'm not just getting delicious hitters, like going to In-N-Out, maybe some Jack in a Crack, or not getting all that crap food when you're like hammered. That's tough. I said, being married and not hanging out with the boys as much has made it easier. But then you buy all this little kid food. Like, oh no, it's all in my face. Like macaroni and cheese. Or frozen chicken nuggets. Man, those are not good. Not good for you at all. But they taste good. Now the question is, did they put a napkin in my bag? Well, I hope so. Oh! Napkin! Growing up, I thought the Jack Spicy Chicken was the one, and it was. I think until they changed the bun to some booty ass bun. It used to be this big, thick, meaty patty, and then I think they cut the patty down, and then they cut they went cheap with the bun. I don't get it that often. But that spicy chick from Wendy's is good. I haven't had it in a while. Still haven't had any of that Chick-fil-A or Popeye spicy chicken. Although Kyle's around our place does a massive spicy chicken with like some spicy chicken sauce and pickles and just a big old chicken breast deep fried. That's delicious, and the bun is really good. But gotta be like 1,000 calories or something, or close to. got the pins covered, if we can just learn how to get our middles, the ball, just enough, we can win a lot of matches. But therein lies the conundrum as a setter, is when you have so much confidence to the outside, but you know that you need to set the middle, or you should know. How do you work that in? And do you have the guts to pull the trigger and go to your middle past 20 when it's tight, when nobody expects you to, when everybody expects you to go to the guns? It's a tough one. Oh, so nice getting back in the gym. I think the reason why this has worked out is because I'm not the one having to organize it all, put all the pieces together, and I can just show up and coach. There's not a lot of extra time on the front end, back end, not to spend. Versus when you're running the program, you got to do all those other things. And it's the season, and because 95% of the kids are guaranteed going to be there, you got to wonder. The first tournament I've been to since probably the Winter League of 2020. I think that's why I was so excited. We had no tournaments last year. There was no girls' season. There was no tournaments for boys, so I didn't get to hear the whistles in the environment of a tournament. I wish I could have went at 9 o'clock and just sat and watched for 4 hours, but to be an adult, I have to make some money. No, you didn't. Gosh, this is the first time I've driven down south, and I don't even remember. Wendy's fries, not bad. I like the In-N-Out fries. I like the In-N-Out fries. Wendy's fries not bad either. Let's see. Oh. I was a setter and a defensive specialist. Serving sub senior year, but always watching the game from a setter's perspective. And I think today, if I am pinpoint when we should have went to the middle. And I'm thinking it shouldn't be, we should just do away with middle on the free ball. I think it should be in transition and it should be in serve receive. Because on the free ball we're gonna get that middle to lock down. In theory we should. Well, there should be a standing rule or thinking that when the free ball goes over, as the middle you make as much noise and you sell it as best you can, that you are the one that's going to get set. Block the opposing middle and then find one of the guns. I can't talk when I'm eating. Try. Napkin! Probably gonna break out later. Ah! Oh, excuse me. I think for the libero, no tips, no dumps, without a touch. Let's try to have no balls dropping in serve receive. Tall order. I always like this drive to the Nard. It's like 35 to 40 minutes. Can kind of zone out. Nice gyms too. I love tournaments. And I used to think it was because the first year I coached a frosh soft team, and I didn't have any idea what I was doing. I have an understanding of the game, but I had never coached before. I was fortunate enough to have a team that was really, really experienced. I had two kids that were already playing club volleyball. One kid's dad played at UCSB, and he came in the summer before freshman year, or it was like a morning during his freshman year, and he just looked like he knew what he was doing, and he turned out to be a stud outside hitter for us on the frosh team, and then the on the JV team, stud out JV, and then he was pretty sure he was the MVP both years on varsity as a outside and a right side, and I think he's like in med school to be a brain surgeon. So he's a super smart dude also. And then one of our setters was the younger brother of the guy that was the varsity libero for 2 years. And he was the youngest of 4 children, and I think both older sisters played volleyball also. So he was the baby of the family, the fourth one, and he had just been watching so much volleyball for so long, and he was just an exceptional athlete too. Tennis, basketball, he was a surfer, skater, ended up being a mountain biker, and he ended up coaching with me for just one season, I think, maybe 2. Maybe 2. I think he assisted for a JV team, and he was going to be the JV head, and then it just didn't work out. But yeah, so I had these 2 guys, and then I want to say 2 or 3 sophomores that had played the year before on the frosh soft, and they were really good. They were experienced. One of them was a setter opposite, and the other ones were the one was like a libero outside, and so we had so much ball control and arms, and we had one middle and we could run the middle like a 1. We could run real middle options, and so we were swinging way more often than the teams that we were playing against that would have to free or down ball in. So we won all 3 tournaments that year at the frosh soft level, and they were so exciting as a first year coach to go do the marathon, the battle 3 times, be there from 8 in the morning till about, I don't know, anywhere from like 6 to like 8 at night, and come home with some hardware and just leave all the parents and the players on a high note that we won. And so I believe the next year on the JV team, they all moved up. I moved up with them, and then I was actually like the assistant coach that year. And we won, I want to say we won our first 2 tournaments also, and then we lost. It wasn't the finals. We lost in like the semifinals or something, but we did pretty well at the Newport JV tournament, which was a badass tournament too. I just think the semis is the closest I've ever got. Never made it to the finals. But yeah, I just fell in love with the tournaments and the all-day aspect. And I used to think it was because of all that success early on, but thinking back, my dad and I would go to the DPI and spend all day there. A couple times when my brother started playing, and I just remember sitting and watching all day and just never tiring of it, and just loving how many different ways there is to play volleyball and to jump and to swing, and sets and really just the action. And then you watch a team and you start to root for them inside, and you start to root against other teams inside, and you start to see their tendencies. And I'm remembering all the tournaments before I was married or when I didn't have girlfriends that I would just go to just to watch. Even sometimes our teams weren't even playing in them. Like a couple times I was the representative from our school when they would have the like losers bracket or consolation bracket over at our school, and I would get to watch more volleyball from like 4 to 8 at night, 9 at night, and then the next day from 8 to probably 1 or 2 in the afternoon. And I never really had to do anything except get some ice packs when some girl got her face stomped by a volleyball. But that happens. I've had it too. It's no fun. But I love tournaments, man. That was a bummer last year, and it was a bummer we haven't been able to have our own tournament for 2 years. Hopefully COVID gives us a break this year. We can actually do the tournament for its, let's say, 45th season. 45th, yeah. It's supposed to be the 45th on the shirts I got, but either 46, 45 or 46, one of those. It's not 44. I know we did that already. So